Now, 2018 marks a special anniversary. Inside the State House Rotunda 10 years ago, artist Anita Miller unveiled the Eyes of Freedom, an emotional memorial tribute to the 23 young men from the Ohio-based Lima Company who died in a single deployment to Iraq as part of Operation Freedom. Anita Miller captured those young men in life-size portraits that have been going around the country, viewed by millions of people. But this year there's something new, a companion piece that pays tribute to the men and women who came home but are forever changed. These are the Eyes of Freedom, the eyes of 23 young men who went off to war in service to their country and never came home. The eyes draw you in. The eyes are haunting. The eyes are silent, but they speak to you.
It's gratitude, it's anger, it's mourning, it's loss, it's understanding, it's reflection of our own pain and our own loss. It's that feeling of, oh, their life is they're so young, and you can feel the immediacy of their personalities right through the eyes. And so people that walk in, they feel a connection to these men, even though they've never met them. Just like I felt them when I painted them. I could feel that connection, and I think that people feel that connection, and so they run the whole scope of human emotion.
People are proud, they're angry, they're sad, they're happy that Anita did this, but they experience all of those in about 5 minutes.
Mike Straley and Sean Flaherty travel the country with the Eyes of Freedom, standing guard and over again sharing the story of young men willing to die for their country.
We know without a shadow of a doubt that they're going to have a stronger appreciation for the military, even if it's something like they feel the courage to go up and say thank you to a veteran who's at the same restaurant as them. Those are the things, those little things that make changes in veterans' lives.
But Sean and Mike say they noticed something else in the people drawn to the Eyes of Freedom. The often troubled eyes of veterans, the men and women who came home from war forever changed.
What was eclipsing the pain of loss of life was the veterans who were returning and trying to figure out how to navigate life after combat, struggling with traumatic brain injuries, post-traumatic stress, issues of suicide. They kept telling me, you got to do something about that. We have to address this issue in the memorial because that's what needs to happen now.
One particular veteran,
he was struggling in every way imaginable, and just like many of our returning veterans are,
revealed that looking into the Eyes of Freedom gave him new hope, new reverence for life, and ended his plan to commit suicide.
We saved his life, and having him make such a profound turnaround. He's involved with all sorts of veterans organizations in Minnesota now. He's leading by example now.
Brian Zimmerman, that veteran, got in touch with Anita Miller and asked her to find a way to reach other suffering vets. She wasn't sure how she could help.
And he said, oh, Anita, I can guarantee you that will help. Because there's not a veteran alive that doesn't know that feeling of looking at those that were lost. And so, again, I said, and how would that help? If they said they know the feeling, he said, because then they would know they're not alone. And the worst thing is feeling like you're alone. And the first step in healing is knowing that you're not.
So veteran Brian Zimmerman became the inspiration and the model for Silent Battle, a sculpture that now travels with Eyes of Freedom. This veteran is lost in his pain and grief. And unlike the Eyes of Freedom, Anita found the only way to create this piece of art was with eyes that are downcast.
I wanted to see his eyes so bad because I wanted to be able to go, no, look at me, look at me, look at me, and let me show you how much I love you. We want to be able to make that connection, but it's impossible. When a person is that low and a person is that much in pain, it is very difficult to reach them. It's sometimes almost impossible, and actually that's where the sculpture is just right. You have to work at this sculpture to To understand this sculpture, you have to work at it. You got to walk around it. You got to climb. You got to look under it. You got to move your body with him to be able to fully experience this guy.
The struggling soldier is looking down at the dog tags of his comrades who did not survive. Visitors are invited to write messages on dog tags that then travel with the exhibit. They are also invited to touch the soldier, who is lost in his silent battle.
You can tell when people that have gone through that and they see it and they wrap their arms around him or rest their forehead on his forehead, and that ache, that maybe that ache can be relieved for a moment. I don't know. That's my hope, right? I don't know if it can, but that's my hope.
And so the Eyes of Freedom will forever look out. The silent battle forever reflects the soldier who reflects all veterans of all wars.
This is our story. This is our story as a nation, and we need to hold each other in love. And that's why the paintings are in a circle, and that's why he's right in the middle of that circle of love. This is the perfect place to see these paintings and this sculpture because it was basically designed for this room. And hopefully everyone that enters that circle will feel the love that's being displayed by the men in those paintings that's emanating from millions. Some of these families, they give their son. And even if that son or daughter didn't die, they might not have come back quite the same. And so we need to love them and support them and come together and let them know that they are appreciated, they're not forgotten, and that we're grateful.
And Anita Miller has devoted so much of her artistic life to veterans and their service. And those that I've talked to say they're so grateful to her. And it really is quite a display. It travels around the country. When it comes back to Central Ohio, make sure you see it.
That is certainly a powerful piece. Good job, Colleen. Well, the certified Angus beef brand countdown clock, it's ticking away.
Yeah, we have less than an hour.